So there's a saying in Red Cross that everybody has a Red Cross story. We lived out in the county, and I remember I was home alone with my daughter, and it was lunchtime, and she was almost a year old. And I had put her in the high chair and had put some food on the high chair tray for her, and I had given her oranges, which I'd cut up. And I was standing at the sink washing dishes, and I had my back to her. And I heard this sound. And I walked over to the front of the high chair to look at her, and she was turning purple, and she was choking. And everything gets very slow at that point. And when I stood there staring at her for a second to see if maybe the situation would resolve itself, and she literally was turning blue. And I remembered my training. And I knew that because she wasn't yet a year, how to perform the maneuver where you have to flip the baby upside down and hold their head and do the back thrusts. And I did. I just yanked her out of the high chair and held her upside down and whacked her really hard and turned her over and looked at her and couldn't tell if she was breathing yet, flipped her back over. And then she started to scream. And then she started to cry. And then I started to cry. And then we went about our business, and I didn't really think about it again, the fact that I had just saved her life. But I'm not sure that I would have known what to do if I hadn't had that training, because it just was all there in my head suddenly, how to do it, what to do, and I just very calmly made it happen. And the part of this that I love is that my daughter's now 13, and when she was 10, she took a CPR class at the chapter and has since gotten recertified in CPR. And it's so special to me, not just that I was able to apply those skills to save her life, but that she has learned those skills and could save somebody else's life. And I will be forever grateful to the chapter for the training that I took. And I tell parents all the time the advice that my friend gave me, which was, if there's one thing that you do to get ready for the birth of your child, it should be to take a class, because you never know when you need to save somebody's life.
Our daughter was kicked by a colt that we had raised since a weanling, and it was just a very freak accident. And she was leading the horse back to the barn, and he decided he didn't want to go. And she had him by the lead rope, and she's a 12-year-old that maybe weighed 85 pounds, and he's a horse, and he has the power to control where he goes. And he got away from her, and she held him. And when he got away, the lead rope flapped between his back legs, and he kicked up. And when he did, he picked her up by her face. And she was like a rag doll flying in the air. It's a fact that it happened, and when it does, you just have to move forward. And right then, it was her care that was the most important thing. When you take your repetitive training, the first thing you remember is ABC. And I think when she hit the ground and I saw her laying there motionless, I remembered airway, breathing, circulation. And I really didn't think, I think it was not my child. It was more of, this is someone that needs care, immediate care. So again, you're back to this step-by-step procedure for care that's become so important in your family's life right now that you just have to move step 1, step 2, step 3. And when you do, you can have a positive outcome.
To be able to help each other survive situations that we hope never happen to us, but they do.
I love my home, and I had been there ever since I came back and the 6th is to take care of my mother. Well, Sunday after, on the Sunday, the first Sunday after in March, after I came back from church, well, I laid down to go to sleep. And when I woke up, my house was full of smoke. It came from the kitchen. Some of the wires, the fireman said that it set the kitchen on fire, and nobody woke me up but my Heavenly Father. I was scared, but some direct me. The only thing that I got out of that was my 2 pocketbooks and my Bible. And something just pushed me out. See, I has a front porch from the living room. I come into the living room, and something just pushed me at the front door. And I walked down to my neighbors, and I was crying. And I asked them to call the fire department. And I don't know what they called the Red Cross or not. When I know anything, the Red Cross lady was standing there, wanting to know what could they do to help me, and told me that if I didn't have any place to stay, that they would find me a place, you know, to stay. But see, my niece was already there. Mrs. Day, what lady that I'm staying with now, she said, told him no, that she was going to take me home with her. And the Red Cross gave me a check, and I and her went up there to buy clothes and food for me, because I didn't have nothing, just the clothes on my back. Well, I thanked them, and it was a great joy that God had sent somebody down there to help me out at 91 years old. And I appreciate everything that people are doing for me now. I'm not a person that I want to grab everything from the Red Cross, you know. But when I get on my feet, I'm going to give the Red Cross a donation back, that they can help somebody else.
So we survived a really bad situation with a head injury because we were prepared. So whenever I'm at 4-H, I preach, be prepared, because it can be you, and it might be you, and you better be ready.
I feel like the training was a gift, and I can't imagine I can't imagine if I hadn't known what to do, because I was too far out of town to get help. There's no way anybody could have made it in time to help me.
And thank God for the Red Cross coming down and being there when I really needed them, when I didn't have no money, just the clothes on my back.